Kiely Rodni is 16 years old, 5'7", 118 pounds, blonde hair, and Placer County Sheriff's Office says they're treating this like an abduction because her car also has not been found.
She was reported missing Saturday morning after she didn't come home from a party.
At 11:30, she told me that she was leaving in 45 minutes and going to be on her way home.
She last saw Kiely Friday morning before leaving for Hot August nights in Reno. Kiely decided to attend a senior farewell party at the Prosser family campground just off Highway 89.
Asked her to wake me up when she got home, like she always does, and she said, okay, and thanks, Mama, love you. And that's the last I ever heard from her.
The party was only supposed to be open to those in the Truckee-Tahoe region, but word got out to Grass Valley, Reno, and the Bay Area.
Local young people call this open area near the Prosser family campground the sanctuary. It's a common place for parties.
Give us a rundown of the party real quick.
I was with her basically throughout the entire party.
I understand it was a large gathering.
It grew to be way larger than ever expected.
It was supposed to be a senior farewell party where all the seniors and everybody from around our area, like Tahoe and Truckee and Incline and Kings Beach, were supposed to be there. They were invited there because it was supposed to be like saying goodbye to your favorite seniors before everybody starts going off to college, because soon enough here people are going to start leaving and moving out. And so Kylie's a senior, or she graduated early, so she's considered a senior, and I was a senior, so every senior was initially invited to the party. And as well, all grades were invited just so that they could say goodbye. So I had talked with Kiely, and I had known she was going beforehand. We hadn't planned on going together, and we ended up not going together. She came with her best friend Mags Larson.
Within the only 10 minutes that I was there, I literally had a group of 5 guys try to come get me to take as many bong rips as I could, forcefully without my boyfriend.
Mags ended up leaving about 10 minutes into the party with her boyfriend Ross, Mags's boyfriend, and told Kiely goodbye and everything.
Kylie's close friend Kate Kuno says they spent the afternoon together on Friday, just hours before she disappeared.
They were never planning on leaving together or staying together at the party. They just went to the party together because they were hanging out earlier in the day.
The day of the party, I hung out with her. We made creme brulee. Everything was normal.
I saw her the second she got there, and from that moment on, we were pretty much seen together all around the party. We would break off for mere moments from each other to go talk to other people or to go do other things, but we would always come back to each other.
So this is where everybody's hanging out. Kiely and I were meeting up right here a lot.
Going around the party, we were drinking the same drinks, being teenagers, throwing glow sticks into the party. And it started to grow really big, I would say around 10 to 10:30.
There's a lot of guys that did approach us. Definitely, I was getting a gut feeling during that party that something just didn't feel right with the amount of people that were there and how old some of these people were. From the amount of people who did show up, it was scary.
It just blew up. It started to get to the point where I was getting overwhelmed, and I'm a very social person. I've been to a lot of these parties. I've never been overwhelmed. I've actually been underwhelmed, but at this party it was very large. It was bigger than any party we've had in Truckee all year, and for a lot of years past. There were people from what we think Sacramento, San Francisco. I remember talking to somebody who was from San Francisco, Reno, Folsom, areas that were just way out of reach from it. And it was really overwhelming and weird to see, but I didn't really think much of it. I just thought, oh, kids are around here. They have vacation homes up here. They're just coming to party because why not? So then Kiely and I were going around taking shots and just drinking. We were trading drinks with each other. We were sharing drinks with each other. We would go back to her car to get some alcohol sometimes. And then we went to her car to charge her phone. And we were talking about just random stuff. And then it's kind of hard to remember. And so, or no, we were talking about her texting her mom and her charging her phone and stuff.
We got home around 11, and she sent me a text at 11:30 telling me that she was going to be leaving at about 12:15 and coming home. And I asked her to wake me up when she got in. That was always kind of, like what we did. And she said, "Okay, Mama, love you."
We had a few other friends in the car, and then we all decided to go back to the party, and we were around in there for a bit. I had asked her for a ride home when we were in the car because my ride was leaving, and I wanted to stay at the party longer. And so then we ended up splitting up in the party because I went to go find another ride when we got back into the party after leaving the car, so that we could
Definitely, I was getting a gut feeling during that party that something just didn't feel right.
Anybody was hanging around her? Did you notice anybody around her?
There's a lot of guys that did approach us.
To be fully honest, I was inebriated at the time, so I wasn't
I get it.
fully attentive of who exactly was around us.
From the amount of people who did show up, it was scary.
Again, when we were going around together, we were just in a lot of different huge groups of people we had never met, because her and I are similar in the sense that we're both very social. We'll talk to anybody we meet. We love meeting people.
It was scary. It was really scary.
Was there a fight at the party?
Yeah, so there were some friendly fights that were going on. There was, like, we had boxing gloves. People were, like, trying to instigate. It wasn't anybody who had really any drama or they weren't enemies or anything. It was more just friendly fights to keep entertainment going. This happens at a lot of our parties. We just do it to have fun. If somebody gets hurt, like, we have people on them, but
so it wasn't like a fight out of anger. It was just kind of a just a fun competition type of fighting.
Yeah, just see who wins and who goes home with the title, which I will candidly admit people do end up getting in fights over who won, but not this time.
About pictures and social media posts, there has to be evidence this party went down. I'm sure there's people taking photos or TikToks. I'm sure there's got to be a TikTok video of the fight or something, right? There's got to be something out there.
Yeah, so there's hundreds of videos. We have videos of people taking videos.
We've dedicated many detectives to this effort, and they are actively, as we speak, reviewing video to see if there's any clue that would lead us in the right direction.
We've asked everybody to send us any videos and any pictures that they have, even if it's a picture that looks exactly like something else sent us. It could have different angles.
Another request is for more video. If anyone has more video that they have not submitted, please, there's no small amount of information for us. And more witness accounts from the party. If you have not come forward, if you were there and you saw something, please come forward and let us know.
We are looking at an app called Be Real, which is where a lot of kids waited, because the Be Real, it's an app where you can post a picture and there's 2 minutes at random points in the day. There's only one a day. And it comes as a notification will pop up on your phone that says, you have 2 minutes left to post your Be Real. Like, everybody has, you can post it later in the time, but you're supposed to post in that time. We're looking at everybody's Be Reals because we know a lot of people waited until they were at that party to post their Be Reals. So we're looking for people to look back in their Snap memories of anybody that we can see in those videos, anybody that we can see in those Be Reals. We are looking at Instagram posts, photos taken on video cameras, photos taken on Snapchat, videos on all of these, and everything.
What time did you last see her?
I was the last person to contact her after the party. The last time I saw Kiely was around 12:25 in the morning of the party. I was leaving and I gave her a hug, telling her I loved her and goodbye, and for her to get home safe or be safe.
Definitely, I was getting a gut feeling during that party that something just didn't feel right.
On your last call, did she let you know who the quote-unquote friend was that was driving her home?
Yeah, so this is a common misconception. She was not being driven home and she was not driving. So, okay, at the end of the party when I saw her, she was supposed to give me a ride home because I had asked her to give me a ride home because I wanted to stay later. I then realized later in the party that I believe she was drunk, and I knew she was drunk, and so I did not want her to be driving me home because I know about drunk drivers and all that. And so
Smart.
and I figured she would be staying there or she would find a ride home because she's a smart girl. She's smart enough to know, she's smart.
It was scary.
Found her as I was leaving the party. I was making sure to find her, to tell her that I had another ride home and that I loved her and I wanted to say bye and for her to have fun at the party.
Something just didn't feel right. It was really scary.
And then when I left the party, we were pretty much on 89 with my ride, and she called me as I was in the car in the passenger seat, and she was like, "Hey, where are you?" do you still need a ride home? And I was like, no, I'm okay. Like, I'm in the car right now. I'm like getting driven home now. But Kiely did not have a set ride home. And I was under the impression that she would either sleep there or find another ride home.
Do you think that your friend was abducted?
I think there's a definite chance of it.
Somebody knew she was drunk, offered to give her a ride home.
Something just didn't feel right with the amount of people that were there and how old some of these people were.
And they could be across the world at this point with how long she's been gone.
A lot of the people that we're dealing with here are juveniles. And a point that you mentioned is the fact that if you're not comfortable coming to law enforcement, to go to someone who is comfortable going to law enforcement. Why are you telling us that today, and what's your messaging behind that? And what do you want parents to know? And maybe on the off chance that a child is seeing this on social media or however they're seeing it, what do you want them to know?
So, we understand that the uniform can be intimidating, and so we don't want that to be a stopgap for these juveniles. In speaking with community members last night, we were speaking about that fact, and if you have a coach or a mentor that you trust that can come to law enforcement for you, by all means, or use that as an avenue. And so we just don't want there to be any hesitation on the part of these juveniles to come forward with information.
When we watched the press conference, the police were saying that they're trying to get everyone that was at that party to come forward. So should we should we get that message out as well to everybody that was at that party that they need to come? Who do they contact?
Well, I've been not in charge, but I've taken on the responsibility of trying to get in contact with everybody at that party. I've posted teen meetups, teen to teens, where there's no adults, no parents, and no media coverage. Everybody stays anonymous, and everybody does not get, everybody is just talking teen to teen. We have interviewers, only about 7 or 8 of us, and that's the limit we're trying to keep it at, to keep the information kind of in a simple one source area that we can go to.
The one that we just had in Tahoe City was by far the biggest showing of kids that we've had. We probably had somewhere between 50 and 70 kids show up. And they all, everybody helped us. All the information that we got was good, and
It helped us move further.
Yeah, we've really made progress with the information that we've gotten.
Yeah, so we're planning on having as many of these as it takes to get in contact with anybody who may have been at the party. Whether that means we have to travel to Reno, to Incline, to South Tahoe, wherever we can to talk to kids. We're offering rides now. For kids who may not be able to get out, we're asking parents to allow their kids to attend these meetings, as it is crucial to this.
It's recently come to our attention, and we have received several reports of adults trying to discourage people and possibly teens from coming forward with information that could help us locate Kiely.
Every interviewer is comfortable and a safe person to go to, and we're not trying to get anybody in trouble. We're just trying to get more information.
Our interest is in not arresting any individuals, prosecuting any individuals, or holding them accountable for any underage drinking or illicit drug activity that did occur, that we know occurred at the Prosser Family Campground Friday evening. Our sole purpose in this investigation and search is to bring Kiely home to her family, and we need the community's help. What she and Kiely's family want to know is how no one saw her leave in her silver Honda CR-V. Her car is still missing.
Was there any cameras at the campground going into the campground? Is there any cameras there?
No, there's no cameras out there. The closest cameras would be the traffic cameras that start on I-80 near the rec center. It's hard to describe exactly where, but I think it's on Truckee Way. But 89 is very covered in cameras. There's not a lot of cameras out there.
The other thing I would throw on is that we literally sent law enforcement from gas station to gas station. Any store location that we thought had a video camera of some sort, which is how we ended up with some of our surveillance video that's here. And so, yeah, I would say every effort to relevant information that we put at a higher priority is being reviewed. To sit and watch a camera on I-80 to see a vehicle go by at 65, maybe more miles per hour is almost an unsurmountable task, because now you're talking about not watching it at full speed. You're talking about slowing that down and sitting there watching it. You're not talking about hours. You're talking about days, weeks, maybe even months for a single video camera.
I can't believe it. There has to have been one person. There are people sitting in cars. There are people everywhere around this place.
She and detectives are begging for people who were at this party to come forward.
And if you have her, please give me my baby back.